Not only did Stephen Pearl get handed the keys to the Auburn basketball throne as the head coach from his father, Bruce, when he stepped down yesterday, but per John Rothstein and reports that came out yesterday, Stephen Pearl has received a 5-year contract to be Auburn's next head coach. Now, there were different ways this could have been approached by Auburn in light of the news that Bruce Pearl was stepping down. If they wanted to all pretend that no one knew this was coming and they were all surprised and it was just my heart led me to leave right at this second as practice began. They could have made Steven the interim head coach and said, let's give him a year and see how it goes. However, giving him a 5-year contract less than 2 hours after it became publicly known that Bruce Pearl is stepping down is a pretty clear indication that Auburn basketball was aware this was coming and that they have decided to endorse this decision. This was not just Bruce Pearl's decision, but this was the higher ups that be in the Auburn athletic department to promote and endorse and support Stephen Pearl as the future of Auburn basketball. How surprised are you that this is the direction Auburn has decided to go in, giving Stephen Pearl an automatic 5-year contract?
I mean, I'm not that surprised just because, like I've said on a few of the videos, to me, it's very clear that this decision was made like a while ago. And I think with the decision being made a while ago, it was probably predetermined, not predetermined, but somewhere along the process, they determined Stephen Pearl was their guy. And I think they chose him over the rest of the market. And that's Auburn's decision. They're entitled to that decision. I do believe Bruce Pearl is the greatest coach in Auburn men's basketball history. And for that reason, if you want to go with his son as kind of like a thank you, I definitely get that. To me, you have a 15-minute video that's clearly edited that comes out like, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes after the Borzello tweet drops. A few hours later, Stephen Pearl agrees to a 5-year contract. My biggest issue with all of it is all of this was clearly done months ago, and they chose not to do anything until the first day of practice to make it harder on guys to transfer.
Yeah, I think we've gone through the X's and O's of why this was a relatively dirty move by the Pearl family and the Auburn staff. Now, depends on the lens you view it through, because it's one of the more selfless things a coach could do, stepping down and giving it to his son. And I'm not going to knock anybody for supporting their family, right? For if you're a Pearl family member or anyone that is close with that family, you love this and you're so excited about this. I think there will be a lot of Auburn fans that are excited about this. Bruce Pearl probably means so much to Auburn basketball that it's going to be cool to give Steven a chance with this. The surprise element to me is just I, I'm stunned anyone would sign off on 5 years. You want to give him 2 years? Say, hey, we're going to give Steven a chance. That's one thing. But this is a totally unproven coach that spent less than a decade in sports. It's unprecedented to give this guy an automatic 5 years. And now part of this comes with like there's this big PR package. Todd Golden endorsed this, defending national champion, SEC rival. Todd Golden, who we know comes from the Bruce Pearl coaching tree, went on record and basically said he's so excited for Steven. This is the best hire Auburn could make. He's going to do great. Dion, how's your job going?
Beginning of the school year, everything's like a little up and down. One of the biggest issues we've had is we can't find any uniforms for our girls' sports teams.
Mm, that's a difficult thing to find a solution for. I know damn well all about that because I got a daughter that just turned 2. She's into sports and she's already outgrowing every little piece of sports apparel she had. Thankfully, I know Clara Kate Creations. Clara Kate Creations was started by a former high school teacher who quit because it wasn't cost effective to send new twins and a 2-year-old to daycare. She found it easier to make girls' sports apparel than finding it to buy. And I am so thankful that she exists because if we have an old shirt of Murph's that she's outgrown, we can send it in and she takes that piece of apparel that means something and upcycles it into an outfit that Murphy can now wear as she grows up. She makes great stuff. It's honestly kind of like your fullback's wife, Kyle Juszczyk. Is that how you say it? She does that. But honestly, I think Clara Kate's coming for Mrs. Juszczyk's job.
I love that. I'm a big Juice guy, love his wife, love Claire Kate even more than both of them, though.
You can send in your own custom ideas and she will come up with a design. She's just the best. Look up Clara Kate Creations on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and more. So, look, there are really smart, successful people that believe in Stephen Pearl. Um, it's still unprecedented. It's still totally unprecedented. Any other coach who has gone this route, the Bruce Pearl route, and retiring and giving it to a family member, it's flopped. It's fallen flat on its face, and they've had to make a hire quickly. So, in a weird way, I think giving him a 5-year deal probably does position him best for success. Because if you didn't give him that, if I'm an Auburn recruit that knows the Pearl family, I would probably be like, well, shit, you're probably gone in a year. Why would I sign up for this? So, in a weird way, if you're going to give this a shot, it probably makes sense to do it the way Auburn basketball has done it. But it is shocking. And I think there probably are better coaches that would have loved the Auburn job than Stephen Pearl, pretty obviously.
Yeah, I agree with that last sentiment where it's like, who else could Auburn have got, right? Now, there are a few as elements of it where like if Auburn was like trying to stay out of like a bidding, like maybe the next coaching cycle is something they don't want to be a part of, like Riley always alludes to like the Nate Oates stuff. Like maybe Auburn's like we don't want to go head to head with Bama for coaches, so we're going to commit to Stephen Pearl. And you commit to Stephen Pearl, you probably get a very low buyout number, would be my assumption. You probably get him at a very reasonable salary rate, and you probably don't fear moving off of Stephen Pearl in the 2 years if it doesn't work. I guess too. So like I do think from a business standpoint, you can look at it very through a positive lens for Auburn. I don't know. I just feel like there's better coaches than Stephen Pearl.
Did you see the old Stephen Pearl tweet?
No.
I hesitate to read it. Uh, I'm just gonna send it to you, and anyone who knows, just search Stephen Pearl tweet if you don't mind some vulgarity. But Alabama fans, I think we're already jumping on this to laugh at it. I'm gonna send it to you, and I just want to see your live reaction to reading this on this video.
Okay.
That's the current Auburn head basketball coach.
Uh, how old was he when he tweeted this?
This is 2011, so what is he, 38 minus 14, 24.
Yeah, rough. It's a rough tweet. It's a
Tough look.
rough tweet.
Yeah.